Welcome to episode 216.
You're listening to Escaping the REI Newbie Zone podcast, where you'll learn the underground, closely guarded secrets that will revolutionize your real estate business. This podcast is all about helping you exit the real estate newbie zone and enter financial freedom, building up your real estate throne. This is Escaping the REI Newbie Zone podcast. And now your host, real estate investor, entrepreneur, world traveler, and nationwide mentor, Chris Bruce.
How you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Escaping the REI Newbie Zone. I'm your host, Chris Bruce. I want to say welcome to the show. Man, today I have a very special guest. You've probably saw him, I'm pretty sure, on YouTube, maybe on Instagram. His right-hand man is one of the leading authorities that has blew up on YouTube over the past 2 years, Max Maxwell. And what I wanted to do was get this gentleman to come on because he is the man behind sales. When it comes to selling things, all right, getting people to make a decision and act, right, getting people to come down from a price that is $30, $40, $50, $60,000 more than what they're looking to get. This type of tactics and strategies is what you need in order to be successful in the business, all right, specifically in real estate. And he started off from playing football in college. He was a star. He ended up going to the NFL for a little bit. After he actually got cut, he ended up getting injured. He ends up at a dealership selling cars, which is crazy because my acquisition manager is a car salesman. He's been in the car industry for 20 years. And so this gentleman here super excelled in car. I'm talking about sold more than everybody at the dealership his very first few months there. And he started to realize that he had a talent. You know, he had a talent at really connecting with people, getting them to make a decision, and selling. All right. So he packaged this up and said, you know what, I need to go into a different industry that I can start to make more money and, you know, have less time in putting into the actual business. You know, that's what it's all about. So he quickly transitioned from car sales to real estate sales, wholesaling properties. And he has actually even put out a book that shows you the 21 proven secrets on how you can be a better salesperson and how to really sell efficiently. So what I want to do is wait no further and introduce my guy, my friend, Tony Robinson. And you may know him as T-Rob56, also known as The Closer on Instagram. Let's get into the interview. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Escaping the REI Newbie Zone. As I said before in the intro, guys, I have a very, very special guest. If you want to be proficient, if you want to be great, if you want to get more deals, period, listen, you need to tune into this episode because what my guest, T-Rob, most of you know him as The Closer, is going to share with you is how you can really start converting leads into deals. All right. If you don't understand how to talk with people, how to persuade people, how to negotiate, then I promise you this episode is for you. So let me go ahead and wait no further and introduce my guest, the man, the myth, the man of the hour, T-Rob, Tony. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Chris, man? Having me on your podcast, man. I'm excited for the podcast today.
Yeah, great to have you on, man. So for anybody that might be tuning in that may not be familiar with you, can you kind of tell me about what you were doing before, pre-real estate, and then how you got into the real estate business?
Yeah, so I kind of have a unique background. I came up with a sports background. I played professional football, but I found out I wasn't as good as I thought I was, and I got cut.
Damn.
So I ended up getting into the auto industry. I became a salesperson in the Hendrick Automotive Group. And in my first month in the business, I sold 24 and a half cars, became one of the top salespeople in the company, ended up taking some of the tactics that I learned in that industry and opening up my own auto dealership. And after that failed, I got into the real estate space, what a lot of people are familiar with, me and my best friend, Max Maxwell. And Max and I have currently built a pretty nice real estate business, making a good penny on closing deals. So, yeah, I kind of have a really, really unique perspective. I come from an auto industry background, so my take on how I negotiate and how I deal with clients and sellers or customers in general is with a background in specifically the car business, and understanding that, because being in the auto industry, you obviously talk to more people on a regular basis. I was able to kind of fine tune some things that help me convert clients into deals and money.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's rewind back. Okay, so what position did you play?
I was a linebacker, man. I started off at Winston-Salem State, in North Carolina, transferred into Carson Newman College in Tennessee,
Okay.
and then Seattle Seahawks gave me an opportunity, man. So I got to go and knock people around for a living.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, shoot, most people have aspirations and dreams to play on the big level of just getting on a team, but you was able to do that, man. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it was a lot of hard work, and it's just like anything, the consistency and the grind and being relentless to what you want put me in that position, man. And I just, I try to capitalize on all my opportunities.
Got you. Okay, so you find yourself that, okay, now you're cut and you're trying to figure out what's the next step. What even led you to say, you know what, I'm going to auto industry?
So it's a unique story. My sister was actually selling cars at the Hendrick Automotive Group and at a Dodge store, and I went there to actually purchase a vehicle, and ended up being sold on the idea of being a salesperson and growing through that company. That organization is really heavy into athletes and trying to convert athletes. They feel like athletes, kind of produce some of the best people that you can work with in the business because of some of the stuff that you learn through it. And I walked in to buy a car, ended up getting sold on the idea of working in the auto industry, and just it was something that I became a natural at.
Wow. You know what's so funny, man? You ever watch that show Ballers?
Yep.
Man, that's my show, man. And I remember, I forgot the dude's name, but I remember he had got like, after, he playing football, he went to the car sales. So that's crazy, man.
I can't think of his name. I know you're talking about the offensive lineman.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so you quickly, the first month, you excelled. So like when it came to sales, did you have like any like training before, or you just really knew how to talk to people?
I think one of the things that helped me is when I actually was purchasing my vehicle, being in the customer's perspective is everything, because when you have the insight and you think about how you feel as in that process, that's what really kind of helped me in my conversions as I got into the auto industry early, because I literally had just purchased, so I knew what customers were thinking. I knew what to expect, because even with it being my sister, and I felt like she was giving me the best price, I still shopped her price. So understanding that the mind, how the clients, your sellers or your buyers, how they work mentally, was something that I kind of dug deeper on and tried to make sure I put myself with that same type of mindset. Gotcha. Moving into the deal. Okay. So that was it.
Okay. All right. So you took off in the car business. You started your own. And then you said, okay, you know what? I need to switch hustles. I need to get into the real estate. So far as when you got into the real estate, what did you start by fixing and flipping? You got straight to wholesaling?
So a little bit more backstory about me is I happen to have a guy that has the same name as me, who's my father, right? and little did I know, he happened to be building a massive real estate empire right underneath my nose. And he's so down to earth and low key that you would never know the level of success that he was having. Well, after my failed business venture of owning my own business, my father was like, "Hey, look, you got some money and you're doing some stuff, but you need to start putting it into investing into yourself and having some long term wealth." And we ended up starting a company together, which was a wholesale company.
Okay.
And at the time, I really didn't have any expectations on what it would look like as far as being in the real estate space. I didn't know it was going to be extremely successful or whatever it was going to be. And then when we started getting in front of the sellers and talking to people, and I saw how easy it was for me to literally apply the same tactics I use in the auto industry that made me extremely successful to my real estate space. I said, "Whoa, this is going to be a game changer."
Yeah.
So I literally started using my best practices that I applied in the real estate space and auto from the auto industry into real estate, and it really just it helped our business grow tremendously.
Gotcha. Okay. So you you got into to real estate, of course, and you was like, okay, I'm pretty sure the thing that triggered you was like, man, this is way more money than the car business.
Absolutely. Obviously, the return on your deals were substantially different, and that's what's appealing to most people is the idea that you can create massive amounts of cash in one deal. And when I understood that I could take my same best practices that I used and I kind of put them into a little manual, I said, hey, man, I'm going to use this stuff and I'm going to use it to be as effective as I possibly can. So I started getting in front of as many people as I could because obviously I knew if I saw more people, if I gave myself more opportunities, I was going to be able to make more money.
Gotcha.
And I absolutely ran with it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think the biggest struggle of a newbie investor trying to talk with the seller and getting them to accept their offer?
I think the biggest thing for any newbie investor is the mindset, and I speak about that a lot. Secret one in my 21 proven secrets is all about the mindset and understanding that you're here to help people, understanding that you are a problem solver, understanding that if you give the people enough information to help them make an informed decision, then the process with negotiation becomes that much easier. Too many people just make it all about the money. They don't make it about actually being prepared and having the right mental mindset to actually even walk in front of people. They only make it about themselves and actually closing the deal and making money versus being a helper to people and providing value.
Definitely, I 100% agree. I think, yeah, that's most people because even myself, when I started 2009, now I was dealing with banks and stuff, so it was a little bit different. But when I switched and transferred over to dealing with direct people, I made that mistake. I was just thinking about $1.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, your clients smell you a mile away if you only focus on the money. If you focus on your clients and making it about them, then the money follows. So everybody that I try to share this knowledge with, I always say, hey, look, put those people first. And we've always heard it our whole life, the customer's always right, etc. And it's a reason why, because your customers have your money. Yep. The money that you want to make, the money that that'll change your life is literally held with someone else. And you got to figure out how to take care of them and their problem to alleviate whatever your problem is financially.
Right. Okay. So when it comes to negotiating, when talking with sellers, the process, do you prefer making offers in person or over the phone, like a soft offer or whatever?
Here's one of my things, Chris. I'm very big on this, and it goes against what a lot of the seasoned investors do, because a lot of seasoned investors like to pre-qualify and make sure that the lead is low hanging and it's going to be an opportunity where it's worth dropping home. I'm all about using the phone as an appointment setting tool. So I believe in getting in front of every single person that's a lead. And I know some people say, hey, man, that's a waste of time if I got so many people that are lead sources. But I look at it and I say it a little bit differently. I say, hey, look, these are a whole bunch of people that potentially have the money that you want to make. And to get that money, I need to break down some trust barriers and things of that nature. And the only way to do that is to be face-to-face. Over the phone, you can only gain so much credibility. Over the phone, they can't get personal as they will with you face-to-face. And I know it kind of goes against what Some people do. I know you virtual wholesale, so some of that's a little bit different niche.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking more to like the newbie investors
Right.
and even some guys that have been in the industry for a while. If you want to increase your conversions, you get in front of more people. And the more you get in front of people and identify with them and be a problem solver for it, then that negotiation becomes seamless and is easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree because, you know, it's easier for a seller to say no over the phone.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
For one, they can say no, and for two, they can hang up and never answer your phone again. If I'm in your face, I got multiple opportunities to either renegotiate, give a better offer, try to figure out if I missed a pain point or something of that nature. But I got multiple opportunities to take a shot. Versus if I'm on the telephone, they hang up on me, I might not ever get them again.
right.
I could be on their block list. So what I try to do is I try to make it all about the fact that, hey, look, it's very important, as because we always need to understand that we're the expert in this field. If we go out there and practice doing wholesaling real estate on a daily basis, and this person may buy one or two homes in their entire life, and we're doing multiple a year, we're supposed to be the expert in that field. So I think it's critical that we present ourselves as experts and say, hey, look, it's important for me to come and take a look at your property so I can give you a fair assessment, because over the phone, all I can do is give you hypothetical numbers based off the market. And I don't want to just make it a number. I just want to make it about you.
Right. That's key. That's key nugget right there, man. Is guys, you got to understand, you got to make it about them. All right. Don't always focus so much on your number, because everybody's, oh man, I got to make 10 grand. I got to make 20 grand. I make 30 grand.
Right.
But,
Right.
Like you said, you have to solve the problem. You got to figure out where they're at, how you can solve their problem, but also, make some money in between. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So I know you have this book. Was it 21 Proven Secrets?
Absolutely. It's the closer's 21 proven secrets to close more wholesale deals in 30 days with no sales experience.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot, man. I don't want you to give up all the secrets, because obviously, guys, you got to purchase the book, man. Period. Like, you got to invest in yourself to get this book. But can you drop 3 of those 21 proven secrets on here?
Yeah, so the first thing I always talk about, and the secret number 1, is your mindset. The mindset and how we approach our customers and our clients, the seller, and even how we view ourselves as experts in this field is critical in how you'll have success. Point blank, period. If you don't come with the proper mindset, this business, you're going to fail, because there's going to be hard times. There'll be people that'll tell you no. There'll be times where you go weeks without a deal, weeks without even having a good, solid conversation if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't have the mental makeup to make it through those trying times, you're going to quit before you ever get to be able to get the fruits of this business. The next one I'll go to is secret number 3. Secret number 3 is being face to face with your sellers. These people have your money. And I say it's the biggest mistake that most investors make is trying to take shortcuts to the money.
Right.
We want to do it over the phone. We want to make sure that we got the low hanging fruit. So we cut corners. And then what happens is we cut the money literally out of our pocket, because someone like you or I who are seasoned and we know what we're doing, we're going to get in front of that person and get that money. So these new investors that, are getting this mixed information from so many other people need to understand that, hey, look, the people that have your money, you need to be looking at. You need to be face to face, because that's how you can get personal with them. They can see if they like you or not. You can build ultimate rapport with them. And at that point, you can obviously be inside the home to where you can see things that are identifiable and be able to use those as closing rebuttals and objections that you may have throughout the negotiation process. So that's literally one of the things that changes the game, is being face to face. And then one of my other secrets, and this is secret 21 in the book, is follow up, Chris. Man, they say that 25% of the people only make the first call. 25%.
Wow.
So people only make one call. So that means that if they don't get in contact with this seller that has their money after that first call, they're done. This is a dead deal to them. So 75% of these people aren't even being followed up with. That's a huge number.
Yeah.
So people might tell you no. situations change day to day, motivation changes. So I think it's extremely critical that people understand that don't give that one call and say, okay, that person isn't motivated because they gave me a Zillow price or a price that wasn't reasonable. Hey, look, sometimes the market will educate your sellers. They've been told no by every investor. Now they have to reconsider their actual mindset of what it looks like for them on a deal. Or they say, hey, look, something came up. Maybe they're a tired landlord all of a sudden because they're tired of somebody being late on the mortgage or the rent payment. Or maybe something's happened where now they got to fix some things in the home that they don't want to pay for anymore. So the follow-up can come in so many different facets of the business. But if you don't call back, if you only call them one time, you're leaving so much money on the table because you're just not doing the simple thing and trying to stay in contact with the people that have your money. So I would say those are the three that I hold the dearest to me. Is having the right mindset, getting face to face with the people that have your money, and then following up with the people that you say you want to do business with. Those are my three.
Gotcha. Okay. And I got some more questions for you, but for right now, if somebody is listening to this and they want to invest in the book, how can they get access to it?
Yes, if they go to TonyTheCloser.com, TonyThe Closer, CLOSER.com, TonyTheCloser.com. It's on that landing page for them.
Perfect, guys. I'll make sure I had the links to that book, TonyTheCloser.com, so that way you can get it. So if you listen to it, make sure you just check the show notes, and we're gonna add the links on there. So Tony, tell me a crazy story, man, that you dealt with a seller where just a crazy story you end up actually even getting the deal from negotiating.
So I got a pretty good one that really, my father and I laughed at because, a lot of times when we hear somebody say, hey, look, I'm not selling my property for not a dime below X amount of dollars. So I had a gentleman that said, hey, listen, I want $140,000. That's what the tax value of my property is, and I won't take a dollar less. I'm not negotiating; it's non-negotiable. And guess what? The guy took $70,000 for his home. So he took half of what he had said he wouldn't take a dollar below. And I understood exactly where he was coming from, sir. I get it. If I were you, I'll be trying to maximize the amount of money I can put into my pocket. Most of my best clients, they all start off having some dollars in mind that they want to get out of the property. And it's my job to make sure that I can do my best to get them as close as I possibly can to that number. Well, the guy was telling me he was only going to take $140,000. After we showed him some of the things that he would have to repair to get his property to $140,000 and be in a 2000. I always tell people now, hey, look, I'm not competing for a 2018 home. I'm moving in 2019 because some of these people don't understand. When I put a house on the market, I have to be able to compete with the people that have new homes that are in that similar price point. So I got to make sure that there's granite countertops. I have to make sure that the cabinets and everything look apart. You can't have vinyl floors or popcorn ceilings and things of that nature. These things can't be part of a $140,000 house when a $150,000 house is right next door that doesn't have these older, things inside. They got actually brand new stuff, brand new appliances. And a cleaner look. So just being able to educate this guy, he really backed down 50% of what he originally said he would take. Yeah. And I'm sure you probably had similar results where people would tell you a number that you just like, man, there's no way in the heck that there's going to be a deal that comes out of it. So one of the things I tell people all the time is not to focus so much on the anchor that people try to give you, because literally that's what people do. They price anchor you as the investor. But you got to tell them, hey, look, I can respect what your opinion is or what you feel like your property's worth. My job as an expert in this field is to give you a fair estimate. And if that estimate works for you, we'll be able to close with cash in a timely fashion. We close with speed and we do what we say we can do. And as long as you can do that consistently, you'll understand that there will be deals that will come together that you thought might not be a deal because you just be consistent, you remain professional, be an expert in your field.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love what you just said because, you have to educate the sellers because a lot of times, like people be like, oh man, they wouldn't accept my offer. And it's like, when you go in with the offer, you have to actually educate the sellers because, I had so many times the seller be like, oh yeah, doesn't need any work. You just bring your toothbrush and ready to move in. They haven't updated in 25 years.
Yep,
So it's like,
absolutely.
like you said, is letting themselves know. Listen, we have to get the house up to code of 2019. Your house is from 1982. Like, there's nothing been updated. You know, they're looking at it in their eyes of when they bought it, and they see that they don't see any repairs visible to them. But it's not
Correct.
always the repairs; it's the upgrades.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, I just dealt with a gentleman who was like 90 years old 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm.
And I handle every client exactly the same way. I don't give anybody like, hey, look, this is how I treat you because you're older or this or that. Like I literally treat everybody the same way. And I go into this house and this house is like it's clean as you can ever imagine. But he built this house from the ground up in 19 like 50 or 60, something crazy. Like the dude literally built his own house. Him and his son-in-laws built the entire house. And I'm talking about the house was clean, but it was a 1960 or 70 clean. Like it was like I'm like, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably can't help you just because I know your expectations are going to be to where you want something that's not going to be realistic to what we can do just based off the fact that your house is so clean, but it's clean for a 1970 look and not for 2019. And that's where most of my clients want their house to look like a 2019 house and not a 1970 house. Um, and then this guy was military. He was in he actually fought in the Korean War.
Wow.
And he was like, Tony, I'll tell you one thing. Whether I die or whatever, I'm going to do business with you because the way you handle me, you were honest, you were transparent. And I can appreciate that because too many people come in here and they just want to lowball me offers and not even, and all they want to do is make it about taking my property without even talking to me. I literally talked to this dude about nothing about his property for the entire time. I let him tell me about his grandkids, how he did this and that and that. And then when he asked me what I can offer him, I said, hey, just to be honest with you, sir, I said, this property is so beautiful for 1970, I couldn't give you a fair 2019 offer. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, sir, your house is too nice for me personally to be able to give you a fair offer for where you currently reside. Because that where you have this, I would have to literally go through this beautiful house and change everything to make it fit for how somebody in 2019 consumes. And that wouldn't be fair to you. And it just was a different perspective than he had heard before. And he was like, wow. Like at 90 years old, the dude was like, wow, man, like, I can appreciate that. Like too many people have tried to just give me low ball offers and everything. You came at me and told me, hey, look, I don't even think I can help you. And I didn't think I would hear that from you. And I knew I could help him, but I wanted to change his mindset of how he would actually even perceive this deal.
Right.
I didn't want to come in with the thirsty mentality that, hey, look, I'm coming to take over your beautiful home for peanuts on a dollar.
Yeah.
I don't like giving off that impression. I like giving people maximum value and then justifying my numbers with the market. So that's how I approach it, and I have not yet got that deal, but I have a guy that's basically sworn to me, hey, look, whether it's you dealing with me or my wife, when I die, you'll get this property.
Mm.
So sometimes it's not the strength in getting a deal that day; it's the strength in the follow up. It's the strength in being credible and being an expert in your field.
I agree 100%. And you built a solid rapport. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Somebody could come in, weeks later, whatever, and let's say he even changed his mind. He's gonna go call you because, and even if they're offering more, he's gonna call you at the end of the day because he feels comfortable with you, and that's what people got to understand. It's like talk with the sellers, like you said, get to talk, stuff that's not real estate related. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Somebody that old, they have stories for days. They dying to tell somebody a story.
Just be a listener, man. Listen to the stories and at the same time, listen to the pain points because you got to have your spider senses up. You want to listen to what their pain points are. You want to understand why they actually have an interest in trying to list or sell their property. You want to understand how you can better help them in being a problem solver. So the reality is, if we really just take a couple steps back, and you can talk, but I say be better listeners than talkers because people will lead you right down the path of where the money is.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk a little marketing wise. I know because some people are going to ask, people always ask the famous question. What's your source that you love using to find deals right now?
Well, I'll tell you, Chris. Like for me, man, I'm massive about the phone. So I'm all about pulling lists. I'm 100%. I think the phones are the way to the money. If you read throughout the 21 Proven Secrets, I talk about setting appointments and phones and everything for a reason, because the phones is your cheapest form of advertising. Uh, you can do voicemail drops and things of that nature. So I talk to tax delinquent, high equity, pre foreclosure, probate. I talk to every single lead source, but I use the phone.
Okay.
I'm not really big into doing a lot of mail campaigns, because sometimes the response rates are just a little bit lower. Obviously, you can get conversions out of it, but just for my dollar, I feel like I get a better dollar and better bang for my buck by being on telephones and doing voicemail drops.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I mean, the ROI is crazy.
Yeah, big returns on your money with doing the phones.
Right. Okay. So let.
So and it's funny that you asked me that, because I just hired me two more cold callers from the Philippines, and I have two ladies. I mean, because obviously we know that women voices are more I guess attractive to buyers at times. I mean, like sometimes I'll talk to someone and they're like, "Hey, look, I talked to Tina earlier. Is she there?" So I truly believe in, like, females have the power to be so dominant in this industry. I believe that they can do some wondrous things, and I use women, as part of my cold calling team.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we do too. We matter of fact, we just hired. Well, we're actually going through the process of hiring some new cold calls in the Philippines as well. So I got my implementer going through the applications. But yeah, I agree, man. Cold calling and getting women. This is a softer voice. People won't necessarily be ready to curse you out, even if you're calling them and they're upset. They're like, "Oh, it's kind of hard when you have a soft voice on the line."
Mhm. And then for people that get intimidated because they have that fear that they might be cursed out or whatever, understand that, hey, that's just part of it. You will have some people that are going through things. If you're calling somebody that's on a pre-foreclosure list or a tax delinquent list, and even probate, these people are going through different pains, and they all might be different. But you got to understand that, hey, look, you might get somebody that's not in the best of moods when you reach out to them, because they're going through some stuff. And it's critical just to have a perspective of, hey, look, it's not about me. It's about the fact that this client is going through some things that's troubling them at the moment.
Right. Definitely. 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 Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to someone that is trying to get into the business that is like super introverted, man?
Um,
Outside of getting your book, they got to get the book though. Make sure you.
yeah, obviously, get the book. I mean, introverts. I mean, like I'll tell you, I think I'm an introvert for the most part, Chris. So I would tell anybody that feels like they're an introvert in this business is that the business is rewarding and it opens up doors to be able to change your life. So I wouldn't focus so much on the actual part of being an introvert. I would actually focus on the part that I'm actually helping people and I'm providing value. So if you are an introvert and you do feel a little bashful about the telephone, I'll tell you that the only way you get through it, and it's like getting in a swimming pool, when it's cold at first, you just got to jump in and make these calls and be passionate that, hey, look, I will not let this phone dominate me. I won't let my introvert, mindset, because, introvert is literally a mindset.
Right.
I don't let these things become obstacles into the wealth and the finances that I can literally build for myself by using this telephone, because the phones have your money. The phones literally have your money. The person on the other end of that phone has your money, and you need to get to your money. So you're hiding behind, you can be on your couch at home and in your robe or whatever, and in your comfort, and you can just dial away. And just have confidence that, hey, it's only one positive call that leads to an appointment that leads to your money. So if you make 50 or 100 or 250 calls, that one call that you make that makes you 30, 40 grand changes the game. That one call that makes you 5 or 10,000 changes the game. Even if your first deal is $1,200, some people don't make that in a full month. Hey, so just wherever your financial goals are, just understand that one call can change everything for you.
Definitely, I agree. And I like how you put it, man. Your money is on the phone.
That's your money. I focus on that a lot because a lot of people say they want the money. So I say, if you want the money, you got to follow the money, and the money's on the phone.
Absolutely. Okay, so real quick again, because now we got to go. Where can they get access to the 21 Proven Secrets?
Okay, so guys, listen up. TonyTheCloser.com, TONY, thecloser.com. You can also go to my Instagram page. It's at TRob56, and the link's in the bio. Either one on Instagram. But TonyTheCloser.com. I've literally marked this down for the holidays because I wanted everybody to be able to consume this thing. So I took this thing down from $97 all the way down to $19.97. So everybody for the holidays that's even considering investing, if you have any sales background, if you want to be a newbie, if you're a newbie in the business, or you're somebody that has tons of experience, but you want to convert more deals, you might feel like you might have lost some things. It'd be some great refreshers for some people. That book literally are the best practices that has literally changed the game for me. And I'm seeing people already sending me checks, stubs, and deposits of massive amounts of money by simply taking action and using the action steps that are implemented in the book.
Perfect. So guys, make sure you go to TonyTheCloser.com to get access to this book right now. Like you said, he's taking it all the way down for you guys to, listen, if you want to be an investor, remember the key word is invest. Invest in yourself. Get your hands on this book right now during the holidays before it goes back up, because you're going to be complaining in 2019. Oh, I missed the sale. Get it right now while you're thinking about it, so that way you can implement these things and be ready to equip, you're ready for sales and acquisitions and acquire these deals, going into 2019. You're ready to talk on the phone and cold call. All of those principles are in this book. So make sure you go ahead and go to TonyTheCloser.com to get it. Tony, man, I appreciate you being on the podcast, man.
Hey, Chris, I really appreciate you inviting me, man. This is awesome that, what you're doing for the real estate community. I really, I love the movement, man. I love your work. This is just, the beginning. I hope me and you do more things together. I want people to see the positivity that this community can bring for the culture, for young guys that don't have insight and think that there's only certain ways they can make money. This business is extremely rewarding, but it's a legal business. It's a business of positivity, and it's a business that you can have a hustle that literally has endless amounts of rewards for you. I love what you're doing. I love the message that you send to people, man. It's just very inspiring. I appreciate you bringing me on, Chris.
Oh, thanks, man. All right, guys. Make sure also, if you are listening to this from wherever, come back to the blog, escapethenewbiezone.com. If you type in Tony the Closer in the search box in the archives, this podcast will have all the show notes with all the links that we provided, including a link to connect with Tony on Instagram. Tony, last question I ask every single guest that comes on the show. Okay, if you were to go back years from back in the past, all right, or if somebody that is right now listening to this and they are a newbie trying to escape that newbie zone and get that first deal closed, what advice would you give them?
I would say take massive action. Go all the way in. Too many people are so nervous and timid that they get in their own way. I say you take this and take a relentless approach at saying, hey, look, if I'm in this deal, I'm all the way in. Be pot committed. Say there's no plan B because this A is the only thing I'm focused on. Take a mindset of being relentless. Take a mindset of no, it's not going to be, what I'll settle for. And you just drive every single day, wake up and be consistent, and you will reward yourself with financial gains you never thought of. That's the approach that I take to my business every single day. And that's the business that has got me from being broke to making millions of bucks. So I'll tell you right now, it's something I do every single day. Take massive action and don't take no for an answer.
There you have it, folks. All right, so guys, you know my quote. Don't live to dream, live your dream. I will see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Escaping the REI Newbie Zone podcast at www.escapethenewbiezone.com.